Hi guys. So it's been a while since we've really talked about GXI Godzilla, Godzilla's Imposter Godzilla. Like a pretty long time. Actually been like probably a month. So I asked and for my second video of today, I'll be going over how strong is Godzilla for Godzilla's Imposter and part 10, which is the finale. This will be different from the other ones I do because it'll directly be this will actually like have something to do with the series. This will be canon information, more like relevant stuff. So let's just get started. Godzilla is able to tank the beam from an omniversal God's physical form, which remember each one that we see gets infinitely more powerful than the last one. That means his Kaiser beam is still infinitely stronger than every single physical form version of the omniversal God. He'll be able to one shot with the pulse. That's the first 1 second. The atomic breath is able to, the Kaiser breath is easily able to go right through infinite space or just other time, or just like break through dimensions, as he can just walk through verses at this point. And that means the atomic breath is able to basically destroy infinitely sized dimensional borders that is the border between dimensions. This pull should be comparable to the atomic breath. But I'm gonna go over notable parts. Be able to tank a beam from the mock form of the universal god, who I will be confirming would be easily able to wipe out the entire Godzilla verse. This includes GXI Godzilla, How Godzilla, everyone from GXI, and also all the other Godzilla verse kaiju. Yes, including Godzilla vs. Alien Godzilla. Though Godzilla doesn't do well against him, he doesn't just die. I would say the Omniversal God in his mock true form, is definitely around somewhere at lowest 1 trillion times more powerful than him, and at highest 15 centillion times more powerful than GXI Godzilla. So it's a big power gap. And at full power, the Mach form of the Omniversal God can get at least infinitely stronger than Kaiser GXI Godzilla and Thermal GXI Godzilla. So that's pretty interesting. So he's basically fighting someone who can just one shot, who should be able to one shot, but he's able to tank his attacks. That's those getting his energy sucked out. So this will be important for later. Though currently the Omniversal God's Mach true form is passively weakening GXI Godzilla by absorbing his power. How do you absorb infinite power? That's a good question. He's basically absorbing infinite power, like stealing GXI Godzilla's power. This will be important for later. He doesn't steal all of it yet. That's going to happen more later, but GXI has a thermal form. Now, for thermal Godzilla, I will just have to go into something else to read that. 1 second. I'm getting out my official multiplier link for thermal nuclear Godzilla. Or just the thermal form in general, because it's interesting. I had open like a minute ago. But his thermal form isn't an infinite multiplier for some reason. Yeah, it's stronger than his Kaiser form, but well, there we go. Here's the multiplier. It's 97 million. It's about 97 million times. I cannot read that insane number. That's a big number. 97 million times is almost a little bit higher. So you could put in 97 million at the lowest, and at the highest, you can put it at 100 million times stronger. But it's more like the Rich Bow Ray Godzilla, as it's more out of control state. Like that's the official calc for it. Now back to the video. And this is why he doesn't do anything. Remember, you need the infinite multiplier that you need to get out of Planet Journey. But he did actually burn him. Yes, he wasn't able to beat the Omni versus God's Mach True form. He was able to burn him. But his thermal form wouldn't beat him on its own. The thermal atomic breath is the same. It's able to also burn into the Omni. I'll get into the relevant parts. Godzilla tries to finish him. Now this got the actual form. Is able to completely warp through the thermal beam and hit him with these weak beams. On its own, what the beam could actually do is knock thermal all the way back into a form we've never seen before. A completely drained Godzilla. So that means Godzilla's been completely drained of his power. Yeah, he tanks the attack too. But you're still getting knocked all the way into your weakest form. And I'd even say that this form is barely even above Godzilla from Godzilla X Imposter Part 2. It's still above Evolved Godzilla from Godzilla X Imposter Part 2, but barely. Godzilla's Tom Breath not able to get out of the void. Though if you were to put him in any other dimension where he tried to enter the void, he would easily be able to break through those other barriers, but he wouldn't be able to break into the void. But he could still break into other dimensional barriers with pretty much ease. Tanks and Omni versus God Beam. One of his strongest games. And he's doing this on a severely weakened base form at his with all his power drained. And yes, he can still use his force field in this completely drained base form. It doesn't change. He just doesn't use it. And that is a mock true form Omniversal God. I was going to confirm that it is a mock true form Omniversal God. That's it. Right there. Even though Godzilla has basically had all his power drained, all his infinite energy is gone, he's still able to transform into his old base form. But he goes up to the Omniversal God and beams him. His beam does absolutely nothing. He only gets his cheek slapped as the Omniversal God completely beats him. Let's watch this thing real quick. skin actually tanks his severely weakened base form. Actually, it tanks the beam before he just puts the force field on and reflects it. He's able to react to a beam that goes at immeasurable speed. At its slowest, it goes at immeasurable speed. Yami versus God's beam. And it's at point blank. Godzilla is also able to use the atomic breath as a last month. It's one of his biggest feats in his base form. Being able to drop Yami versus God. And from the Universal God's perspective, this is the one time Godzilla's actually made him like move. Yes, a severely weakened base form was able to literally kick the Universal God and cause him to stumble back. Yeah. Stumble. He fell backwards. Didn't hurt him, they just pushed him back. Pretty interesting. Now we get this fight. GXI versus Vengeance Godzilla, where he tanked Vengeance Beam, who Vengeance is in silver form. Vengeance Godzilla, knowing that GXI is strong, would not take it easy. And most likely, if like going out all out on GXI Godzilla. GXI Godzilla in his head thinks he can take him in base, but even though he's in a severely weakened base form, he'd probably lose. He's thinking he's going to lose if he stays in this weakened base form. But just him walking through a beam from the most powerful, or not the second most powerful, fan-made Godzilla ever, and just thinking that he could beat him, even though he probably, even if he lost, it'd be a very close fight. And base form, a base form that was severely weakened by the Omniverse God's true form. It's just a big feat by him. Hero throw him and get his powers back, go into Kai's form. Being able to push back the Vengeance Godzilla, but not kill him. Dodge the attacks. And he can drop it. He takes all Vengeance Godzilla's reality order right here. Also, when you see this is Vengeance Godzilla absorbing his power and adding it to his. Just like what we saw in Central versus Godzilla OC Battle Royale. Vengeance Godzilla was literally draining GXI Godzilla's strength. This also happens in other parts. In Godzilla X the Imposter Part 9, where Godzilla gets his energy drained by the Omniversal Gods. And it's getting infinite energy sucked out. So this is just making Vengeance stronger. Godzilla, even though being severely weak, is able to get out of it. You see his pulse looks different. It's not as vibrant as, let's say, one of his earlier pulses. I'm not even going to go for the atomic pulse, like thermal. Like here, that's his normal pulse attack. That's when he's not weakened. Now let's go back here. I forgot where it was. There we go. This stomp is also severely weakened, but it's able to knock over Vengeance. The pulse itself, and Kaiser is able to knock Vengeance down, even though it's severely weak. It's not like even the full powered or fresh GXI Godzilla would probably, it'd be a similar fight but he wouldn't be caught lacking that much. It'd be a similar fight, but he'd still have the upper hand. It is still a severely weakened GXI versus full power vengeance. Though vengeance is knocked on the ground and can't get up, it's not like his attacks are killing vengeance. They're stunning him. Note, stun locking. His punches are able to stop vengeance from getting up, and that final punch knocks him down for a little while. I say that punch knocks him down for like a couple seconds. Giving GXI enough time to run into punch. But vengeance is not, he's still conscious, but he's still on the ground, can't get up right now. Again, this is also what weakens his beam. Vengeance Godzilla is draining his power. GXI Godzilla is literally charging up his beam. See how he doesn't have a biggest glow? He's not trying to kill Vengeance, he's just trying to knock him down and shut him up. That's why the explosion looks weaker. But I'd say both of them, like a full power or a fresh GXI, is higher than Vengeance Godzilla. A full power Vengeance Godzilla who's in rage mode. But no, just higher than a full power Vengeance Godzilla. While rage mode Vengeance Godzilla is higher than a fresh GXI Godzilla. While a rage mode GXI Godzilla and Kaiser is much higher than rage mode Vengeance, but they're comparable. So right now, a full power fresh Vengeance Godzilla is comparable to a severely weakened GXI Godzilla. Yeah, they're pretty much comparable here. They're all Massilla, GXI Godzilla, Vengeance Godzilla, and how Godzilla all being the universal guy would just wouldn't hurt him. It just like makes him stop trying to kill this guy. Trying to kill the imposter. Even though GXI is still regaining his strength, most of the episodes him being severely weakened by getting all his power trait. But he does get back to his full strength later in the video. But it's just like once GXI Godzilla does this move, you can see why even him weakened is still a threat. Beam does absolutely nothing at this point. The Omniversal God can take even a full power GXI Godzilla's beam does absolutely nothing to the Omniversal God's true power. This is even in Kaiser and Thermal. It does nothing. But what he does is suplexes the Omniversal God's true form, which is absolutely hilarious. The suplex kind of doesn't do much. It just puts the Omniversal God's true form in his butt, but like it doesn't damage him. That gives Vengeance enough time to put him in a different dimension. But from the Omniversal God's perspective, GXI Godzilla is stronger than Vengeance Godzilla. But from energy, the Omniversal God would see out of all the characters he fought, it would be Hell Godzilla who had the strongest energy out of all of them. In this episode, I'm not counting the other character he fought a long time ago and almost died to. Hell Godzilla currently. Because Hell Godzilla's Hell Bat form is actually stronger than Thermal Godzilla. It is basically the strongest version, the strongest character besides Omniversal God. And if you want to bring Kaiser, you could say that a full power Kaiser GXI Godzilla could be a more full power thermal, but it'd just be a stalemate. But I still think Hell Godzilla has more power in that form, but it's not more powerful as a whole because GXI does have one more form. But if you want, but his thermal form can get more powerful the more energy you put in him. But just from raw power, Hell Godzilla should have more power, but isn't severely like weak. And the Omniversal God compares GXI guys thermal energy in his head are just thermal slash Kaiser to nothing. Basically, like someone who can like just throw around and ragdoll and beat to the ground without any issue. He sees all the other kaijus as weak, even Hell Godzilla, who he views as being slightly stronger than GXI Godzilla at the time. He views everyone else as weak, that he could literally just one shot every other character. And I do want to add something. When Blockzilla transforms into his thermal form, he has the ability to you don't see it. He shakes the entire Godzilla versus the whole. This includes Godzilla from like Godzilla versus Ava, his wherever he is in the Godzilla verse, Godzilla from freaking the Battle Royale saga Godzillas. Everyone in the Godzilla verse has been shook. He shakes the entire like omniverse, or it's bigger than an omniverse, entire all of reality itself. Everything. And now someone's stronger than me. Now you can put thermal Blockzilla comparable to Hell Godzilla. Yeah, Hell Godzilla. And Hell Godzilla's Hellbat form. And compare him to Thermal Godzilla, Thermal GXI Godzilla. Again, GXI is able to tank the Omniversal God's beam. And again, the Omniversal's beam could basically one shot every single character in the entire series. If he aimed it like a good shot at like Voidzilla would probably one shot him. Hellzilla would probably kill him. The only ones who can really survive it are GXI Godzilla, Vengeance Godzilla, Hell, and Void. Only because they're insane durability. It just knock them out on their butt, like lay them out and have them not being able to do anything else. Hangs a pulse that literally sends other characters to heaven. Godzilla is taking beams from someone who has the power to destroy all of reality, which I believe is the most powerful attack and power scaling in that of all the characters. I think it's totality destruction, total destruction, where we've only really seen a few characters use it, but it is happening. That's like the imposter at like the end-ish. The Omniversal God, not even at full power, just as a pulse, is able to basically incinerate everything. He destroys all reality. That means he killed Vengeance Godzilla, Hell Godzilla, every single Godzilla in the Godzilla verse, and anyone partnered with the Godzilla verse. So that means anyone who is canon to my verse, like the Vengeance verse, was technically destroyed in that. Other Godzilla verses that are canon to mine, like Mr. Bomba's, OC Wars as well, everything was destroyed. Massilla's verse was destroyed. Anyone who was canon to my Godzilla universe was destroyed. And the Omniverse of God can do that when he's severely weakened. Even his mock true form can do that. His physical form can destroy the Omniverse. His mock true form can wipe out all reality with ease. And his attacks, like his beams, have that power too. If he beamed a certain spot, like beams in the center of a planet or something, or center of the Omniverse, he could just destroy reality with just a weaker beam. Well, he's taking reality destroying beams. Godzilla's thermal form. At this point, he's gone back to full power. Godzilla was able to pick up the Omniverse God Throne and pulse him. The pulse does absolutely nothing again. Godzilla's force was able to deflect the beam, but he's able to get knocked back by it. He's able to react to infinite speed, immeasurable speed. He reaches the beam come out, and Godzilla rush in and basically stop the Omniverse God from attacking. But he gets done. Kind of like Devontae the One, how Archie Sonic sent him flying through 16 dimensions. The Omniverse of God sends GXI Godzilla flying through about an immeasurable amount of dimensions, going at immeasurable speed. So that's interesting, right? Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So yeah, that's what's happening here. Godzilla's able to tank it. He doesn't take any damage. He's just pissed off at this point. Godzilla was able to react to it being Neptune fire, and yes, the Omniversal God's able to pierce him right before the force field goes on. That means the Omniversal God's beam is faster than Godzilla's force field that it can be deployed, even though it's just instant. But it's able to reflect the beam. That's where we're gonna stop. We don't really kind of need to talk about that anymore. We got to the place that we need to get. We basically gotten to that. But with that, you can say that. So GXI Godzilla in episode 10 at a severely weakened state is able to take beams that are easily able to destroy reality. He's able to pick up characters and physically move characters who are much more powerful than him and could easily one-shot him. He's able to absolutely beat characters who are comparable to him, like Vengeance Godzilla, with mid to high difficulty, even though he's severely weakened. And he's able to just, even though like getting his cheeks slapped, he's still able to fight. And his durability is able to hold him in the fight. It's not just his durability, but it is mostly his durability. Without his durability, he'd probably not, he wouldn't lose, but he'd be in the worst place than he would normally be. But he's doing pretty good. His speed, he doesn't run at immeasurable speed. He can teleport. Well, that moves him at immeasurable speed. But he can react to things that go at immeasurable speed, like the Universal God's beams. He can dodge beams that go at immeasurable speed. And since he's able to take attacks that can cause totality destruction with like ease. You could say he can that his power can include that. That's how high his durability is. His AP should be similar. Can GXI Godzilla destroy all of reality though? Yeah, he can. In his Kaiser or thermal form, he can. Though it'd be difficult for him, he can still do it. But it won't be something like how the Omniversal God does it. The Omniversal God's Totality Reality Destroyer is so much more powerful than it is. So I don't see any other character really beating GXI Godzilla for now. He will take his spot as being the king of fiction for now, because right now he's really undefeated. Now there is a character I didn't go over is true composite burning Godzilla, or just true comp burning for short, which is GXI Godzilla's most powerful form. But we will talk about that form later. In the next video, I will talk about how strong is true comp burning Godzilla. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them in the comments. See you all. Peace.